Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for your second Chelsea news video of the day. I hope that it isn't overpowering, having the sound of the copious amounts of bugs that are living in the close proximity to where we're filming this Chelsea news video. The Tunis preview is going to be out tomorrow morning. I completely forgot that this game actually kicks off at 9 p.m. in Philadelphia, which is like 2 in the morning for you guys. So you kind of get a taste of the medicine that I've got to take living in Southeast Asia for the last 5 years and getting up at ridiculous hours of the day to watch Chelsea games. But we've got loads of stuff to go through. We're going to talk about Bradley Barcola, an exciting player that Chelsea have made an approach for. PSG are saying no, but we're going to go into that today. We're also going to go into Rob Sanchez and various other stories. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. And if you do want more content here, make sure you check out the Flamengo match vlog. It was a good fun one, even though Chelsea lost, and the earlier news video today. But let's begin. First of all, the Premier League have contacted Todd Boehly, Vivid Seats rip-off prices. Now, I don't think the Premier League have gone to Mr. Boehly and been like, you lot are ripping off the Chelsea fan base. What are you doing? Vivid Seats is a ticket resale platform. Todd Boehly, who's got a 13% stake of ownership in Chelsea Football Club, is also on the board of directors for Vivid Seats. And I think a lot of Chelsea fans, particularly the Chelsea Supporters Trust, see this as a conflict of interest. If Chelsea Football Club have got it plastered on their website and they don't believe that people should be touting tickets and reselling tickets higher than that of face value, to have our owner basically doing the same thing, we can't let that slide. So I'm happy that the Premier League have actually gone out there now and are addressing the situation. The Chelsea Supporters Trust wrote to the Premier League, I think it was back in March, so let's see if anything comes from this. But this is absolutely the right way to go. I think this shouldn't really be allowed, to be fair. Chelsea have now got a new partnership as well with Ticketmaster. I don't want to talk about this anymore. We spoke about it months ago. For me, it's fundamentally wrong. If you and I aren't able to sell our tickets for more than we paid for them, then why should the Chelsea owner be able to do the same? Simple as that for me. Let's move on now. Chelsea, Arsenal and Bayern Munich have all made approaches for Bradley Barcola in recent times. However, PSG have closed the door to a departure. Now, I'm going to start here just by telling you guys the truth. Bradley Barcola seems relatively happy from what we're hearing at Paris Saint-Germain. Yes, this could change over time because Desiree Doué has made leaps above him this season, and Kvaratskhelia is a world-class winger. Dembele's also there up front too. I don't really see that much game time for Bradley Barcola. However, I think for players of this kind of caliber, right, you're already a Champions League winner, and he is kind of in and out of the team. He starts some games and he's often coming off the bench too. I think as a player, right, if you're ambitious, you want to stay with a winning team. If a footballer, just because he's not starting every single game, just puts his hand up and be like, oh, but I should be playing, mate, and then just wants to leave the moment things get a little bit tough for him in terms of starting minutes, I don't always necessarily think that is a great sign for the temperament and mentality of that player. The fact that Chelsea have been interested in him, on the other hand, even if PSG have been like, nah, this isn't going to happen, try and actually like put a bid in. Try and go for him. Because I do not necessarily think the door is completely closed here. And look, Bradley Barcola, I'm sure, as a Champions League winner, he wants to remain in the competition. Arsenal also interested, Bayern Munich also interested as well. But we've been led to believe that Bayern Munich's priority has been another different winger this summer. Rafael Leao was at the top of their list in that wing position. Bradley Barcola is a player that Chelsea were also interested in, reportedly, last summer, before he made that move to PSG. And he's a very exciting footballer. I think if Chelsea signed Bradley Barcola, it would be a very, very good signing indeed. But at the moment, it looks as though he is set to remain at Paris Saint-Germain and fight for his place next season. The latest now on another winger in the French league, Malik Fafana. You guys remember, about a week ago now, we spoke about Chelsea being interested in Malik Fafana, and this is the latest here from Sacha Tavolieri. While Chelsea surveyed Lyon to get information on Malik Fafana last week, it is mainly Liverpool that keeps a real concrete interest, admired by Barry Hunter, the Reds' recruitment manager, who placed him at the top of his list. Liverpool will first have to sell Federico Chiesa. Fafana's value is 50 million euros, but Leon hope a bidding war increases the price to 70 million euros. Now, Malik Fafana, right? He's 20 years old. Yes, he got decent numbers last season for a 20-year-old. Chelsea right now, the focus is very much still on Jamie Gittins. Those talks haven't gone away. We have seen since that little mini deadline that quite a lot of the conversations that Chelsea were having, such as Mike Maignan, since the window has reopened, 5 days ago, Chelsea haven't been revisiting that one. But with Jamie Gittins, that doesn't seem to be going away. Now, I don't know how quickly Chelsea want to get this done. Gittins has obviously played for Dortmund at this Club World Cup, so he can't join Chelsea and then play for Chelsea in the latter stages of the tournament, no matter how far we go during those latter knockout rounds. Even if we might not even get there tomorrow, you never know at this point. But Malik Fafana, wanted by Liverpool, with Liverpool spending all the money that they have, I'm not sure how much more business they're going to get done. We've been hearing crazy stories that Liverpool don't want to end their business at Florian Wirtz. They still want to go and sign Alexander Isak. I mean, if that isn't a club being serious about being in the Champions League, winning a title, then I don't know what is. Liverpool looking to get some serious business done in this transfer window, and they're now looking at Chelsea target Malik Fafana. Let's move now. Mohammed Kudus has switched agents to Roof Management in what could be the clearest indication yet that he could be on the move this summer. The latest a few days ago now on Mohammed Kudus is that West Ham were willing to accept offers this summer below that 85 million initial release clause asking price. So, Mohammed Kudus is, again, a player that we've spoken about quite a lot here on GBFC. He's in that kind of bracket of player where I think Chelsea will go for a Gittins, outright left winger. The more I look at Gittins as well, right, I actually think he would be a good signing based on what you literally see every time you watch Chelsea under Enzo Maresca. When the ball's over on that right side, players aren't coming inside. They're not really doing that inverted coming in as an inside forward kind of position. And a lot of you guys have said to me, Benson, have you seen Yildiz performance for Juventus during this Club World Cup? And I'll be very honest with you, that left side from Juventus has been absolutely electric in this tournament. Yildiz scoring an unbelievable goal and a brilliant assist as well from Conceição on that left side for Juve. And I must admit, Yildiz was one of those players that I wasn't really looking at too much again, but Yildiz looks like a serious player. So I think Chelsea are probably going to end up here going for one out-and-out winger and then going for a more versatile, all-round attacking player. We've spoken a lot about Morgan Rogers. He's my dream signing for Chelsea. And then there's also Mohammed Kudus in there as well. But the fact he's changed his management is quite clear that he is looking for the best move away possible. And quite often, when players change their management, their personal management, it's because they know that the club that is selling them are probably going to be trying to wait for as much money as possible. And with a new agent comes a lot of early pressure. It's the same for anything when you sign for somebody new. So let's move now into the next piece of news. Chelsea are long-term admirers of Dusan Vlahovic and remain attentive to his situation. They could, under certain conditions, be tempted by an opportunity. The problem is injuries, notably a pubalgia, which has long held back a possible transfer to Chelsea. So, Dusan Vlahovic is a name that I feel as though has been just circulating around the Chelsea interest. Could we sign him? Will we sign him? Stratosphere. For I do not know how long. Again, an interesting player, but once more, injury prone. And with Chelsea's record, right, of managing players that get injured constantly, I can't entertain this anymore. I have seen it so many times. You can see it with Lavia, Reece James, to be fair. We're on a decent path now, touch flipping wood. Hang on, there's a good tree, that's some solid wood that is, we'll touch him. Dusan Vlahovic to Chelsea. We've spoken about this countless times, haven't we, on GBFC over the years. Again, I'm not too convinced with it. I feel like his career has just kind of not taken off anywhere near the heights that people were touting him to, people expecting him to. But maybe it could be one of those where, is it Mwani's a better option, who we spoke about this morning? Or let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on Dusan Vlahovic. Manchester United have contacted Christopher Nkunku's representatives in recent days to understand the conditions of a possible deal. This is another one of those where I think Enkungu is once again absolutely one of the losers of the way that Chelsea Football Club play. Not just because Cole Palmer is ahead of him. And look, Cole Palmer's position, as great as Cole Palmer is, absolutely, I don't think he should be starting every game if he is going to go missing the way that he has done so often in recent games. So I do think we need to find a balance here between putting everything on Palmer's shoulders and not. But Enkungu certainly is not that guy. And to be quite honest with you, his attitude in the second half of the season, I fully understand it. I just don't expect it from a professional footballer that is employed by our club, getting paid good money from our club. I expect a lot more, just out of pure professionalism than anything else. I get that he might be frustrated, but also he was out injured for a long time. Cole Palmer then took that spot that was supposed to be Nkunku's. Do you know what I mean? People didn't think when Cole Palmer signed, or majority of people at least, most of us didn't believe that Palmer was going to be as good as he was. So we probably thought, well, Nkunku's going to be that second striker, number 10 player, and Cole Palmer might get some minutes here and there. Turns out it was the other way round. As much as Enkungu did score plenty of goals at the start of last season, particularly bloody penalties in the Conference League and whatnot, going to Manchester United, what do I think about this? I think Christopher Nkunku, I'm getting surrounded by flipping Mozzies in here. I think Enkungu at United would absolutely work. Being one of those 10s in an Amorim system certainly would be a lot better for them than Alejandro Garnacho has been. I'd expect Enkungu to play off that left side. So it's frustrating, but again, when Chelsea have got a flipping squad of players as big as it once was, we're always going to have players that don't quite fit in, but then they go somewhere else and they do fit in. And I absolutely think that will be the case with Christopher Nkunku. Let's see if Man United keep staying in for him. Arsenal, I know this came out a couple of days ago, but I haven't spoke about this. Arsenal are one of several clubs keeping a close eye on Noni Madweki ahead of a possible summer move from Chelsea. This is exactly the same thing, but again, Noni Madweki this summer, I wouldn't be selling Noni. Unless you're going to go out there and buy a better winger than Noni right now. And I'm not talking about higher ceilings. I'm not talking about, oh, well, he's younger and he might be better with him in 2 years. No, this is absolutely, this would be a disaster for Chelsea. You cannot this summer go out there, sell players that you've been developing that have actually made progress. And look, Noni can have these stinkers of football matches quite often, to be quite honest. But I also think he's a lot better already than some of the young wingers that Chelsea are being linked with right now. So what are we doing here? Do you know what I mean? We cannot keep going and saying we're going to have this squad together for a very long time, and then as soon as players do start playing 2 years and actually getting better, selling them immediately because we can make profit. I don't want to see this at Chelsea. Madweki to Arsenal, I think you and I know it. I think he'd do very well there. I don't think he's going to get in over Bukayo Saka, but he would absolutely be direct competition for Martinelli on that left wing. And I think in an Arteta side, I could see Madweki exploding there. So I'm not backing this. I don't want to see him go there. But anyway, let's move now into the next story. Chelsea is secretly scouting RB Leipzig's mercurial winger Javi Simmons ahead of a potential summer swoop. It's not that secret anymore, mate, is it? I don't understand all the lingo that gets used. Secretly scouting. It's not a bloody, you've just shouted about it. What are you on about, secret? Javi Simmons is another one of those players that I kind of put within that similar bracket to like a Rodgers and a Kudus. We know that with these players, they're very luxury players. You're going to have to spend big money to bring them in. But Javi Simmons is a really, really good footballer. Top class, on the ball, off the ball work as well. I think he would fit into this Chelsea team, but again, all of these deals this summer, and you can see the way that Chelsea have been moving in this window so far, opportunities. What is the price going to be? What are the wage demands? Because We're not going to move from this wage structure. So again, let's see what happens with Javi Simmons. And the final story that I'm going to discuss today is, once again, this isn't going anywhere. Robert Sanchez to West Ham United. You see, Sanchez is doing some of the pre-match chat to the media before this game against Tunis tomorrow. And as much as I've been saying it all the time recently, because I think with Sanchez, people get frustrated when I don't praise him for having good games because they think I just hate him. I don't hate anyone. But if someone is going to keep screwing up on the pitch for Chelsea, I'm going to ask for someone better to... Do you know what I mean? It should be common sense, but sometimes it isn't seen that way. But Rob Sanchez, fundamentally, is not a good enough goalkeeper, in my opinion, to be Chelsea's long-term number one. If West Ham are interested in him, then I still think that Chelsea should be entering some kind of negotiation here for Kudus, and West Ham need to be open. If they do want a Petrovic, or they do want a Rob Sanchez, surely this should be a part of a deal for a Mohammed Kudus, because Kudus wants to go, he's changed his agents, he's got new management now, and I think a move to Chelsea would suit him. Champions League football, he'd love that, doesn't have to move cities, and Chelsea have wanted him before. Rob Sanchez should not be Chelsea's number one if Chelsea are serious about sustaining Champions League football and hopefully being serious about going to the next step, which should be not necessarily winning the league this year, although that should be the goal for Chelsea Football Club. I'll say it again and again and again, but we should at least be pushing to challenge. And over the next few days, the next few weeks, I want to see some links to some players that could actually put us in that bracket. At the moment, not really much going on. Am I panicking at this point? Not panicking yet. We've got a Club World Cup to deal with. Maresca's got his squad right now for that tournament, and the focus should be on going as far as we can in this competition, and particularly going and winning that game against the Tunisian side tomorrow night. But let's see some quality, shall we? I say it in every video and I'll keep saying it again. It is my opinions here on GBFC. I show you guys most of the time the screenshots of what we're talking about, and I just give my thoughts and feelings on it. I know that there's some people out there right now who get so agitated and angry. I mentioned that in this morning's video. I'm a bit worried about some people, I'm not gonna lie. But keep the comments constructive, and I will see you guys for the S Tunis preview tomorrow. Come on, you Blues.